WHBF is local for you. This is Local 4 News this morning.
Good morning and thanks for watching Local 4 News this morning. I'm James Sears.
And I'm Emily Scarlett. Hundreds of new jobs could be coming to the Quad Cities.
A major plastics manufacturer says it plans to expand operations with a new plant in Davenport. Scarlett makes plastic products like storage containers and shelving. The new factory would be located next to the Eastern Iowa Industrial Center. Local 4's Brianna Collier has more on this project.
We're very confident. The CEO, one of the senior members of that team, is coming tomorrow night to our committee of the whole meetings. Our city is very transparent. We realize there's details that have to be filled out.
Scarlett Corporation wants to open its 7th factory in Davenport, which could bring 500 new jobs. Davenport Mayor Frank Klipsch says if the project for North America's largest plastic housewares company is approved, it would be a huge investment.
A great national corporation, made in the USA corporation, brings 500 jobs to our community, makes a tremendous investment, chooses us over other communities, and one of the big reasons is because we have an outstanding workforce.
City Administrator Corey Spiegel says land and building costs for the new factory are estimated at about $73 million.
A project of this magnitude doesn't happen alone. We have a number of partners.
Klipsch says the city already has a number of supporters for the project.
This is a great deal and a great collaboration between the state, the city, the county, as well as all the local entities, the community college, the water company, the electric company. There's so many things involved that this is a great partnership and everybody coming together to make something really great happen in our community.
Brianna Collier reporting, and today Davenport's Committee of the Whole will discuss Scarlett's plans at its meeting tonight. That includes possible incentives for the company. The committee will also consider a proposed ordinance to allow urban chickens and also a move to changing the way food trucks are classified. The meeting gets underway at 5:30 tonight at City Hall.
Congresswoman Tammy Duckworth says she's ready to get to work as Illinois' new junior senator. Duckworth took the oath of office yesterday in Washington, D.C. Democratic leaders appointed her to serve on 4 different committees as well. They include the Commerce, Science, and Transportation Committee and the Small Business Committee.
And of course, that will be incredibly important to Illinois when we talk about fixing our roads and rail and airports, as well as supporting Illinois businesses and manufacturers all across our great state.
Duckworth will also serve on the Environment and Public Works Committee, as well as Energy and Natural Resources.
Iowa Governor Terry Branstad will head into what will likely be his last legislative session on Monday. The U.S. Senate still has to confirm Branstad's appointment as U.S. Ambassador to China, but the governor tells Local 4 he's already looking forward to serving the president-elect. Branstad has known China's president for 30 years. He says that relationship will help him smooth over tense relations.
We are the 2 biggest economies in the world, and if we can work together, hopefully it benefits peace and prosperity in the entire world.
Branstad also defended his decision to privatize the state's Medicaid system. That's despite a state agency report that shows the program has lost the state $14.5 million. Meanwhile, both President Obama and Vice President-elect Mike Pence head to Capitol Hill today.
The president will try to save the Affordable Care Act while Pence works with GOP leaders to reverse it. Hannah Daniels has the latest from the Capitol.
President Obama will meet with House and Senate Democrats in an effort to save his signature health care law from the GOP's crosshairs.
The president's motivation is rooted in looking out for the interests of the 22 million Americans whose health care would be taken away.
Vice President-elect Mike Pence, meanwhile, will also travel to Capitol Hill to strategize with fellow Republicans on how to dismantle the Affordable Care Act, one of President-elect Donald Trump's main campaign promises. Repealing Obamacare is also a high priority among the newly sworn-in and Republican-controlled Congress.
If we can't do better than Obamacare, we might as well look for another line of work.
While Democrats try to save the law.
It is not acceptable to repeal the law, throw our health care system into chaos, and then leave the hard work for another day.
And yesterday, House Republicans voted to weaken the Office of Congressional Ethics, only to change their mind 19 hours later. Hannah Daniels, CBS News, New York.
When President-elect Trump takes office later this month, it'll be the first time in a decade that the GOP will control the House, Senate, and Oval Office.
Illinois is starting 2017 with a budget deficit, and with no plan on the table, that number could go up. The state is currently $11 billion in the red. That number is expected to hit $14 billion by this summer. Right now, there is no state funding for social services, colleges, and universities. And the longer those programs go without aid, the more help they'll need.
As taxpayers look at that bill backlog, it will have to be paid at some point. And what has happened is the bill payment cycle just continues to extend.
The state also has $174 billion worth of unfunded liabilities for pensions and health care.
Buying something on Amazon will now cost you more if you live in the state of Iowa. You'll notice a 6% sales tax being charged when ordering from the site. The change took effect at the start of the new year. Some customers are deciding whether it's still worth it.
I don't know, I guess I'll have to think about it. It's really convenient, so a lot of the stuff I probably still will, but being self-employed, I have to think smarts-wise too, so I might be making more trips over to Mason.
Iowa isn't the first state to do this. Illinois is among another 32 states and the District of Columbia that tax items sold by Amazon. Seems like if it gains popularity, more people start using it, the prices go up, even though you'd think it'd be the other way around.
That's right. People are opting instead to shop online these days rather than go out into stores, brave the weather, the crowds.
Yeah, well, now they're making you pay for it, right? Let's check in with meteorologist Anthony Peoples. We made it to the middle of the week and we're seeing some big changes outside today.
Yeah, those big changes came in here yesterday afternoon as that cold front passed through and the cold air spilled in. It's going to stick around for a few days too.
So how long will the cold stick around? It's going to eventually level off.
It will eventually level off, but it's going to take us all the way through the weekend to get there. Outside right now, 10 degrees in the Quad Cities, west-northwest winds at 18. Davenport has dropped to 8 degrees. And once you factor in those winds, this is what it actually feels like. 10 to 15, 20 below zero to the north and northwest of the Quad Cities. It feels like 8 below zero in the metro area. We do have clear skies in place, which means we're going to start out with plenty of sunshine as we go through the morning, but then by the time kids come home from school, we'll start to have more clouds across the area, and it's going to remain rather breezy today. High temperature making it up to around 18 degrees, and those high clouds will thicken this evening, and overnight tonight some light snow moves in. This is not going to be a big snow event for the area, but as I always stress, it only takes a little bit of snow on the roadways to cause driving problems, and we could have that late tonight and tomorrow morning.
I thought it felt cold as I was walking into the station this morning, but then you mentioned some of our viewers at 17 below. At least it feels that way with the wind chill. Some of our viewers are having even colder temperatures this morning.
Yeah, and that's definitely a case, whenever we think about our friends that we see that may be homeless or the animals that have to be outside during this weather. So definitely a rough time out there, and it's going to last for a few more days.
For sure. Thank you so much.
Well, coming up, maybe it wasn't just the iceberg. The story that never gets old just got a new twist.
A new documentary explores whether or not a fire played a role in bringing down the Titanic. That's after the break.
Stay with us. The time now is 6:08. You're watching Local 4 News this morning.
WHBF is local for you with James Sears, Emily Scarlett, and meteorologist Anthony Peoples. This is Local 4 News this morning in high definition.